Hey you fucks, welcome to Cooking for One. My name is Paolo, and I'm here to turn you into a self-respecting adult who knows how to cook for themselves. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a proper meal, so why don't you go ahead and grab yourself a drink, take a big sip, and get ready to cook with me. So today we're going to do something pretty simple. We're going to do some garlic mashed potatoes with pan-seared strip steak and a mushroom cream sauce. So the first thing we're going to want to get started is our potatoes. So I've got a pot of salted boiling water in the back, and we're going to start with our garlic. You want to get peeled garlic into aluminum foil, a little bit of olive oil, and we're going to put this into a 350 degree oven and let it roast for 10 to 12 minutes. Once we've got our garlic in, we're going to reset our station and get ready to prep our potatoes. So we start here with just basic chef potatoes or Idahos, and we're going to peel these off really nice. We want to get all the peel off, including the eyes. Excuse me while I do this in hyperspeed. Once they're peeled, you're going to chop them up, and we're going to pop that right into the boiling water with a little bit more salt. Once we get that boiling, we're going to start to prep our steak. So I picked this up at the butcher. It was about $8 a pound. And this portion right here is a 14-ounce steak. I didn't want to do anything too massive since I'm eating this myself. And the whole goal is to do something you can eat one sitting. So we're going to unwrap it, keep it in the paper though, give it a little bit of a press. And what we're going to do is just salt it and pepper it. Get it really nicely seasoned on both sides. And we're doing this a little early because we want to give it time to let the juices set. I'm going to do it both sides evenly. That way there's no flavor inconsistency in this. Make sure you get the side too. The fat cap isn't really important to salt, but you can if you choose to. I like to wrap it back up, press it really tight, and then sit it back in the cooler just until I'm ready to prep it finally. Alright, take another big sip, and we're going to go with our veggies now. So the sauce is going to consist of chopped shallots and garlic. So you can get peeled shallots at your supermarket. I picked these up for about $3. It comes with 8 in a box, and I'm only going to use 2 here. So you basically want to cut them in half, slice down the center horizontally, and then chop them. And you want to kind of do the same thing with your peeled garlic. We're just going to give that a chop. Once that's done, we're going to cut up our butter, let it soften a little bit, and walk away while the potatoes finish boiling. When your potatoes are ready, you're going to come back. I'm going to strain them and get all that liquid out. They should be soft enough where you can press them between your fingers and mash them. You strain them out, put some butter in your bowl. I'm going to grab that roasted garlic now. At this point, the garlic should be nice and soft. And what we're going to do is, once the potatoes are in the bowl, we're going to take that nice soft roasty garlic with the oil and put that right into the potatoes. To that, we're going to add some heavy cream, a little bit of salt and pepper. I like to use heavy cream. Some people would use milk, but do yourself the favor. You're going to mash that pretty vigorously. I like to still leave some chunks in my potatoes, but we want it to be relatively smooth. Once we've got that set aside, we're going to start working on our steak now. So we grab that out of the cooler, nice and rested, unwrap it, and we're going to get our pan set. So you want to get your pan to high heat here with some olive oil, and you want to get it just about smoking. That way we can provide a serious sear to the steak. me, I just like to wipe my hands 1,000 times. So we're also going to use rosemary. I like to pull about 2 sprigs, and this pack cost me about $1.25, and I can use that for many projects afterwards, so it's really worth it. I'd never really used dried. Yes, that oil was hot. You just saw me burn myself. I like to use cast iron and an induction burner. It gets the most consistent heat. Once the steak's added to the smoking hot oil, I like to give it a few presses. And once it starts to release itself, don't worry if it starts to stick, it'll release itself. Once it does, you want to flip it, make sure you get a nice brown consistency. To here, I'll add the rosemary sprigs and a few bits of butter on top. I take a metal spoon, and I grab some of the oil from the bottom of the pan and just use that to melt the butter. I also press with the heat from the spoon to release a lot of the butter, and you'll start to see a little juice on the bottom of the pan that you can then spoon appropriately. To that, we add our garlic and our shallots. I'm going to whisk those around. I like to keep the steak in the pan at this point. I'll remove it later, but right now I just wanted to pick up a little bit of this flavor we've got working. So I'm going to add some sliced cremini mushrooms. Don't bother slicing them yourself. You go to any supermarket, you could find them sliced. And we're going to let this cook down. We add a little salt and a little pepper. And we're just going to try to get this all soft. So I'm going to remove the steak now that it's browned on both sides, and I'm going to put it in the oven to finish. I'm going to get it to about medium rare. The oven's still at 350 from the garlic, by the way. So continue stirring this, and next we're going to add our brandy. You can use anything you'd like. I use Remy Martin just because that's my favorite brandy. So I like to take it off heat so there's no big fire. Remove the pan from the heat, add the brandy, stir it around. I don't like the big explosions in my face. I've lost my eyebrows quite a few times for that, so keep it going like this. Once we get that out, and we get that brandy nice and low, we're going to add a spoonful of Dijon mustard and kind of incorporate that in. It'll start to look a little broken at first, but it's okay. Once we add the cream, it'll all come together. Once we've got that well incorporated, we're going to add our heavy cream and mix it in. The heat from the pan should instantly turn it into this nice velvety consistency, and the aroma should be quite lovely at this point. Yeah, that smells right. Taste it just to make sure. I like to add a little bit more salt and pepper just to taste. And we're going to let that kind of go. At this point, I will turn the heat off just because I'm happy with the consistency, and I'm just going to keep letting it do its own thing and stay warm in the pan. And once the sauce is done, we're going to be pretty much ready to plate, so I choose a gold-rimmed white plate. It's kind of the only one my grandmother has. And I'm going to go take the mashed potatoes that I let rest in the microwave so they stayed warm. It's a good trick. Don't turn the microwave on once the foil's on or you'll explode your house. I did that a few times. And I'm going to grab that steak out of the oven as well. That should be about nice rare, the way I like it. If you like it longer, you could sit it in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes and it'll get, burnt. I think that if you're buying a nice steak and you're eating it anywhere over medium rare, you're kind of doing yourself a major disservice. So for this, I'm going to take a few spoonfuls, maybe 1, 2, fuck it, let's go for 3. I'm pretty hungry today. Spoonfuls of our garlic mash. I'm going to take our sauce, and we're going to put a little bit of these mushrooms under the steak. That way the potatoes get nice and creamy. Well, creamier than they already are. So when you cut through the steak, you get flavor throughout the entire dish, not just on top. I'm going to make a last minute decision here, and I'm going to cut the fat ends off of the steak. You can see there, that's pretty rare. That's where I like it. Place it right on top. Wipe my hands one more time. And we're going to take our sauce now and try to get every last silky drop right onto that steak. I really love sauce, and I really love this sauce especially, so I'm going to enjoy it a little bit too much. Once it's plated, put it there and admire your work a little bit. There you go. You just cooked yourself a proper meal.